What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks here on Scores and Odds. If you haven't already signed up for it, making bad life choices, just go to scoresandodds.com, sign up. And if you don't want to pay for it yet, just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord and join the Discord. And guess what? I'm going to be throwing in all the picks that are from this show, all the picks I'm betting for the foreseeable future until it goes premium. And then I'll still keep doing it, I guess. But yeah, no, you can get access to the Grant's Action Lounge. Let's see, what did I end up doing? Absolutely crushing the last 2 days. I think I went 14-6 yesterday. Maybe no, I actually had way more bets than that. I did well. I mean, look at the monthly tracker here. Doing these shows, minus 2.7, plus 600, plus 3K, plus 6K, minus 200. That was boost, minus 3K, plus 2.5K, plus 3K. So we're up 10 grand this month so far. Cleared 2.8K last month off a $500 unit. So doing the math there, we're up 19 units this month, about 6 units last month. That's just off of props. We've actually lost money on boosts, which don't normally happen. But in any case, we're making money. So, yeah, and you're getting it all for free, but won't last forever. The show should be free for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I don't make the decision. This isn't my company. But in any case, we only got 2 games on hand, so I don't know what we're going to talk about. I only have a few bets today. But we got Daniel Chevelson, who knows how to waste some time. How you doing over there, Daniel?
I'm doing well. I caught the show yesterday. You had Justin Carlucci on the Luch, and you gave him this big, grand introduction, said he's one of the best in the business, and you gave me the introduction of intentionally butchering my last name. So I feel welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Did I not butcher your first name too?
Well, that's hard to butcher. How do you mess that up? I think it's
Daniel.
Well, yeah, I hear that. Like people in my life have called me like Dino or Deanie, like different names, different versions of that. And I don't even recognize that's wrong, I guess. But the Chevelson is really was what stood out for me.
Good old Daniel Chevelson.
Yes, that's there you go. That's a name, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't even know what we're going to talk about here. We can look into future bets, I guess. We can look into NFL futures. We talked about a little bit. Recently, we can just check where they're at. So we'll just go ahead and get started with actual picks. Starting off with the Brooklyn Philly game. I have a few, like Maxey over 3.5 assists. I think is a pretty solid overall line. You're getting it plus 140. I don't know why that's wrong. It didn't put that incorrectly, but over at Caesars, it's at plus 140 right now, which is pretty solid odds, I think. I know that Harden's eating into a lot of Maxey's production. Well, in terms of assist, I mean, Maxey's actually done very well in terms of scoring since Harden's been on the team. He just missed the over on his points in the last game by the hook. I'm still pissed off about it. But yeah, we got 4 assists, 1 assist, 5 assists, 3-3. But getting at plus odds, I think that's pretty. Irving over points, 24.5, minus 105 over at Caesars. Kyrie Irving's over 33.5 PRA. That's points, rebounds, assists over at Caesars. Those are the 3 bets I've got from that game. If you have a thought on any of them, go ahead and share it. And let me know any bets you like in that game.
Yeah, so I'm not going to come on the show and not do some research. James Harden, since joining Philadelphia, the absolute best in the league when it comes to potential assists. It's insane. 22.5 potential assists per game. And that's just off the charts. It's I think it's 3 more than anybody else in the league. It's just a massive, massive number. It's also important to note, I always kind of talk about, age of game season, right? And some games just feel more important. Some games just feel bigger. This is, you want to throw the Ben Simmons narrative on it. He's already getting booed just by hanging out in the building at this point early in Philadelphia. Steve Nash says he wants him there, so he's going to be there. He's not playing, obviously, but the crowd's going to be very much into this game. There's going to be all sorts of Simmons chants, I'm sure, too. We know this is just a revenge game. It seems like Harden had a falling out of some sort with Nash or just the entire organization. These guys play a ton of minutes. They're going to play potentially an extra minute or 2 even more because, well, they're both on island games, right? Brooklyn does not play until Sunday. Like they're just chilling. Philadelphia, right? They played Monday, they play Thursday tonight, and they play again Sunday. This is like their only game in like a 5-day block. Look, I just think that the minutes are so secure, and I think that they're going to show out. Of course, it's on TNT as well, national TV, all that stuff. And I just like the overs on like everything. And we talked about this the other day with like Tatum. I can't remember we talked about this. This is a specific example, but like I was like, well, what about just betting the over on the 2 stars, the 2 guys they're going to just pepper the bucket. And you talk about liking Irving over, like why not bet Irving and Durant like both over, maybe some alt overs as well too. And I just can't see. I mean, of course it can happen, but I feel like at worst you're breaking even basically, and like there's a decent chance one of them just completely gets loose, and Durant or Irving puts up 35, 40 plus, and you hit those alts. So I like the alts on everything. I got James Harden alt assist at 12. You're getting a little bit of positive juice. At 14, it was like plus 280, like basically 3-1 on 14 assists. And he's got the ball in his hands the entire game. He's going to play close to 40 minutes or so. Ready-made guys take shots. Talk about, Embiid, he can distribute the ball to. Maxi's another guy who can hit, he can open shots, obviously. I think this game shows out. We're going to get a big old number, and I like all the overs, basically.
So one thing that I want to mention, I'm with you, by the way. One thing I want to mention is don't bet the 12-plus assists for Harden, because over 11.5, which is 12-plus, is at plus 110 over on FanDuel, while 12-plus is at plus 108. And you can look at the same thing with the alt numbers here. Getting alt over 11.5 is plus 106, 12-plus is plus 108, and then regular over 11.5 is plus 110. So always pay attention to those things. Same thing with alt over 13.5.
It just moved. I'm not sure if you just bet it or not. Bless you. Did you just bet it? Because it just moved on FanDuel. So it just dropped down. It literally just dropped down in real time to plus 255 on 14 assists. We lost 15 points there. So
it was at plus 280, so we lost 25 points.
That's why you're the accountant.
yeah. Which Luch had no idea I was an accountant, but I honestly don't mind those. I mean, I take the over on Harden 11.5 assists or 10.5 if you really want to. Looking at 10.5 right now, it's at that's the under. And where's the over? There's the over, minus 152. I'd rather just go with the 11.5. I think that's a better line there. But then looking at points, I'm not on KD here. I don't mind it. Like, I'm not against it. But I think Kyrie is just the worst line here. Plus 240 to score 30 plus. Well, Durant's minus 128. Plus 720 to score 35 plus. I don't hate that, but I'm mostly going with his regular bets of over 24.5 and the over PRA. So, yeah.
I agree. I think there's a little bit too much disparity between those two. And I'm not saying they're the exact same, but yeah, I think Kyrie, when he gets going, like he's 7.5 to 1 on 35 plus points. Like, I feel like he gets there, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he gets there at least 1 out of 7 times. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a bad line. And Houston or Philly is not a terrible matchup now. Like they've moved around so much, and who really knows? But it's not a bad matchup in my opinion. And like, since he's come over, have you looked at the numbers since Harden's come over, or since the trade deadline, whenever it was?
You're asking about Embiid, or are you asking about
defense for Philly?
Yeah, so I was looking at these two teams have played slower than I expected, which was kind of sort of somewhat surprising. I got the last 5 games pulled up, and Harden's been there for 5 games. That's what you're kind of wondering about. Philadelphia, as far as pace in the league, 22nd. Like they're playing slow, but like it's kind of congested. Obviously, it's more like the top and the bottom, but they have been playing slower. And if you look at Brooklyn on the other side, they're not particularly. Yeah, they're 17th, like middle of the road as well. Which I thought was interesting. I thought they played a little bit faster, but I think they'll make up for it with their efficiency. Is kind of my thought process. So yeah, and I see this game playing a little bit more open than they have been playing. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my read on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to watch, regardless. Like 2-game slate, you can't really ask for much better 2-game slate. Like Brooklyn, and Philly, everyone's had that circled for a long time. Like super excited for it, and then Denver. Golden State, like, is Jokic like, I'm trying to think. I don't know, but I can't remember a better 3-game stretch of any player in NBA history.
Well, I mean, I'm sure like Will Chamberlain or something like that did something when he scored the 100 points, he probably scored like 65 in the previous game.
Yes, no, I'm talking about in the modern era. I'm not including Wilt. I'm not including Bill Russell. This is the modern era, so like the last 40 years. So including Jordan, including Magic. I've never seen anyone
all
put up
encompassing. You're
numbers
talking
like
across the board. Like, yeah, you're probably right. And I'm sure Stat News probably has something up there about that, and they talk about his PRE all the time. And yeah, that'll get into maybe we can talk about MVP, and we kind of talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
Me and Chop, and I mean, it doesn't even come down to like who really deserves it. You have to read the tea leaves and try to figure out, like there was with NFL with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and like there's different reasons that we're not going to get into why some might be more favorable than other ones by particular voters and yada yada. Yeah, like maybe we'll touch on it, but like, and I know you have shares of both. I think you're a winner either way, right?
If Embiid wins, no. I have like $100 on Embiid that I literally put on. I might end up hedging later, but I just don't like the odds for Embiid right now. I might hedge out closer to the actual vote. Like I'm sure they'll have the lines up at the end of the season that I can hedge out if I need to, or I can sell them over on prop swap. But Jokic's numbers over the last 3 games,
insane.
Like 38 points, I want to say, like 39 points roughly per game on like 70% shooting, 15 rebounds per game, over 10 assists per game. Like absolutely incredible.
And he's like, again, the entire team game plans for him because they look at the rest of the guys. They're not like, we got to shut down Facu Campazzo, like or JaMychal Green. His teammates are terrible. He still thrives in the absence. Like I was making the argument the other day, like it depends on you find most valuable and most whatever. Like if you throw him off Denver, right? They're in the tankathon. They're right there with Detroit and Houston, the Nuggets I'm talking about. Like, or maybe worse. They might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
obviously with with Murray out too, which has been the situation all year long.
Yeah, and Porter only played like 2 weeks. Yeah, no, they are the worst team in the league without Joker, and now they are what 8th best record in the league.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, and very respectable in the playoffs. And like they're not. I can't imagine. I don't think they're gonna. Well, maybe they will if they get both those guys back. Murray's the one that matters more, obviously. We'll see, yeah. But it's just incredible what he's doing to that team. And I think you can argue he's having a better season this year than last year.
Oh, he 100% is.
That stuff doesn't context and nuance doesn't really matter sometimes in MVP, right? And narratives are important. Giannis, by the way, is the 3rd favorite. I just pulled it up. He's 7.5 to 1.
Then I have a little bit of money on him. I have a little bit of money on
DeRozan
too. A little bit of money on DeRozan. I got like 50 to 1. Yeah, last season, let's see, Jokic, he's shooting better from the field, better effective field goal percentage, 3.1 more rebounds per game, pretty close to the same steals, blocks, assists, turnovers, points. Like all the other numbers are pretty much the same, but he's shooting effective field goal percentages up 16%, or not 16%, 0.16%, and he's averaging over 3 more rebounds. Like this is the best statistical season of all time. Like it's not even a question.
Awesome. And Embiid's probably, I don't want to say he's the favorite to win. And Embiid's been great. Like there's no knock on Embiid. Like and good for him. And if he wins, I'm not going to be like angry. I'm not one of those guys. Like it's like so upset about. Well, you will because you have American dollars. Yeah, I'm rooting for you. But do you remember when Steph Curry was the favorite? Like he was a clear-cut favorite. Like a month into the season, he's 35 to 1 now.
Yep. Yeah, you never bet the favorite at the beginning of the season, or even like. You know who at the All-Star break last year? Do you know the 2 favorites to win the MVP were?
Ooh, did somebody get hurt?
Both got hurt.
Yeah. Wait, Giannis got hurt for a period. Yep. Was it Giannis? It
wasn't Giannis. Nope.
Okay. Let's see who else got hurt. Durant didn't play last year, right? Man, last year I just got completely forgot. Give me a hint.
The best player of all time.
LeBron.
And the favorite to win the MVP right now.
Embiid. Okay, those are the 2 guys. Yeah, I just forgot that. Yeah, I remember Embiid. Yeah, I remember this happening. Okay.
LeBron, like I think DB posted something like, "Yeah, as long as LeBron doesn't get injured, he's a lock to win MVP," and he was right. Like DB was right.
Yeah.
He got injured though. He got injured and was out for like a month and a half, and then he came back and he was never fully healthy. Like LeBron people saying that LeBron's done for, that he's over the hill, all these things like they suck. Lakers do suck right now. But they forget that until he got injured last year, he was the odds-on favorite for the MVP. Like, he's old. He's 35. People get injured.
He's 37, actually, in his 19th year. He's been, for the length of his life, his life, right? As long as he's been, from birth, he's been in the NBA longer than he hasn't been in the NBA.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We should probably
insane.
Do you have any bets for the second game? All I've got, I think, is Steph Curry. Oh, I also have Dragic over 9.5 points plus assists. The only bet I got for the second game is Steph Curry over 24.5 points.
I don't know what to do with that second game. The second game, of course, there's some question marks as far as some of the body parts for Denver. We'll see about Barton. If Barton is out, that like increases Jokic even more as far as his usage. And wait, did we get an update on this? Or it's just like questionable stuff? Jeff Green,
everyone's questionable. Yeah.
Okay, Barton questionable as of 6 minutes ago. Gordon expected to play. Bones Highland is questionable. Najee is also. I mean, these guys don't matter so much, but like a guy like Austin Rivers can get loose. That's more of like a DFS conversation because I'm sure we don't have we don't have Austin Rivers lines right now, right? I'm guessing those aren't available.
Let's see, Rivers.
He can play like 30 minutes or so if things crack his way. If
we did not have Rivers.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have a big take on the second game. I mean, it'll be fun to watch, but nothing really stood out to me. As far as that game, as far as props, Golden State is a slight favorite, which I don't know. Do they deserve to be a slight favorite here versus Denver? But again, Denver's it's about
third game in 4 nights. Third game in 4 nights. That's
for Denver.
And Golden State. And I know they played Monday, but they rested everyone because I was at that game. And then I think they've maybe played 1 game since then, but Denver's not nearly as rested. Like 3 games in 4 nights. Jokic has been doing everything.
Well, it's the same for both, just so you know. Golden State, but like it is and it isn't because those guys didn't play on Monday. But technically, it's Golden State's third game in 4 nights. It's not a back-to-back for them. They played Monday in Denver, like you said. That's weird. The 2 back-to-back trips to Denver, and then they played at home versus the Clippers, and then on Thursday they're facing Denver tonight. And then Denver was facing Golden State on Monday, and then of course yesterday they were at Sacramento. Go ahead, you were saying. Yeah,
that's basically it. Like that's why they're favored. They're more rested.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, and Barton's not like amazing, but he would be helpful to have.
Yeah.
Like
Bones is questionable. Najee is questionable. Like a lot of guys that help are questionable.
There's a lot of I mean, you might have to dust off like Bryn Forbes and Faco Campazzo and Reed started last night, I believe, for Denver. It's kind of tricky, but it's gonna be the Jokic show again. If I'm betting overs or unders, I'm probably betting over on Jokic just because he is just an unstoppable force. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, what's his PRA sitting at right now? It's 51 last night, and he crushed it. It's 50 tonight. Second of a back-to-back, 3rd and 4. I don't know if I can fully go with that, especially going up against the Warriors. I know he beat it pretty drastically, but 50.5 is so gosh darn high.
What about the narrative of and he also and I believe him, he seems to not care about MVP stuff. Like he just kind of says whatever. He does not seem to care at all. That's the perception he gives. But TNT, the studio conversation when they're not talking about gas prices. I'm not sure if you saw that from a couple of years ago with Kenny Smith and Shaq. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. You only put $20 in your tank. That's not half a tank. That's a quarter.
You fill it twice as often. Shaq, I don't know if Shaq was trolling or if he really believed what he was saying, but it was amazing. It was such a good conversation. So they're going to be talking about this is like punch counter punch, right? Embiid and Jokic. These are the clear cut, not even close 1-2 MVP conversation, and that's going to be the focus of their studio show, right? And does Jokic care about this stuff? I have no idea. Does Embiid? I feel like Embiid does.
Embiid absolutely does.
I think Embiid's a guy that cares about he really wants to win an MVP. And he's worthy. He's worthy of receiving one if Jokic didn't really exist. But that's why I like the overs on Embiid, and I think Harden's going to be distributing. Harden, do we have a triple double line on him? What's his triple double?
I can check it out. Let's see.
What are we projecting for his rebounds?
I don't know. I know Caesars has a
tricky
boost
one.
for him to get over 24.5 points and a triple double. But it's sitting at like plus 450, and I'm not sure about the rebound lines and
It's
just
the
the straight up.
Yeah. We're projecting 7.5 rebounds as of right now for what it's worth. The assist 11 and change is the projection. The points, whatever, 22. That's going to happen.
Harden's sitting at best line is over at DK plus 330 for a triple double.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically betting on. Well, I said this the other day with the DeJounte Murray, and like I was like, well, you're just betting on him getting 10 rebounds. He got 10 rebounds, but he just missed an assist, and that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I don't like betting triple double lines. I mean, and then little whatever it's called. If you just want to check over here, let's see, 10 plus rebounds for Harden. Occasionally, this works.
You build it yourself, you get better odds.
Yeah, only 220 here. So drastically worse odds here. But yeah, 10 plus rebounds saying at plus 168. So yeah. I don't know. Let's talk some futures here. Yeah, so we kind of discussed the MVP winner.
By the way, just before you keep going, tonight's a 2-game slate. Next week's March Madness starts on a Thursday, so the NBA is just not competing with them. They're gonna have 12 games, I think, on Wednesday. I want to say 10 or 12 games on Friday as well. Thursday night, 1 game. It's the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. Get excited.
Yeah, so next Thursday, who knows what we're going to talk about. I might just come out here alone, spend 5 minutes, and be done with it. Rookie of the year, I mean, it's Evan Mobley.
Let's do it.
Most improved player, like, it's probably Morant. Like, he's not going to get an MVP. Like, he's just been fantastic this year.
It's a dumb
Coach
one,
of the
right?
year?
How they define most improved player is kind of dumb sometimes. Like, and I think comeback player of the year and most improved, like, combined into the same award now. Like, they retired one and it turned into most improved. I think that's what happened because I was looking into this one day. And it used to be comeback player of the year. Now it's most improved, which is a different terminology.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, Garland's been great. And he's 13-1. Like, and it would incrementally where you started to where you go matters. Like, I just never really know. And, like, I thought comeback player, Kevin Love. I thought he was interesting. But, like, most improved, I don't know, man. It's just strange. Yeah. They're going to give it a Ja. Like, whatever. However they define this stuff, it's going to be Ja.
Yeah, my Bang shares aren't looking too great right now. Sad. My Garland shares aren't looking terrible. They haven't moved. I think there's still a chance, but it's unlikely. 6th man of the year, where I know who that is. Coach of the year, I got some money on Bickerstaff.
It's going to be Monty.
I think so. I think you're right. It just is what it is. But
by the way, just not to cut you off, but I just pulled up most improved winners the last so many years. It's almost kind of like a precursor to MVP in some sense. Like you elevated yourself. Last year was Randall. Like, he's not going to be a future MVP, but it's like, guys, it's just interesting to look at it. The list. If you're curious,
I know Giannis was one. I know that Paul George was one.
Paul George 2013, Giannis 2017.
Yeah, Ingram, Siakam, Oladipo, Giannis.
Well, now you're just cheating. You pulled it up.
Dragic, Paul George, Ryan Anderson, Kevin Love, Aaron
Brooks, like what?
Danny Granger.
What happened in 2010? Was nobody else? Did nobody else play? Aaron Brooks was most improved player.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a point guard for the. How good was he? 19-5. I mean, okay. I don't know. Haydu Turkoglu, Danny Granger. Man, Danny Granger was like a guy that had a really promising career. And did he get hurt? I guess he got hurt, right? Is that what happened to him? I think so.
I don't know. I haven't always been a huge fantasy basketball guy, but I do remember drafting him in fantasy basketball. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of. What year did he win it?
He won it in 2009. Yeah, I think he had like an injury, maybe a back or something like that, and I guess he never really recovered from it. Ryan Anderson won it in 2012. Remember him?
Yeah.
He had the colorblind issues when he played in Houston, allegedly, where it's like his 3-point percentage. That was the guy, right? The guy who couldn't hit threes because supposedly like the backdrop
couldn't hit
red.
Threes at home. Yeah.
I don't know if that was like confirmed or that was just like a theory that was thrown out there, but there was a home road split for him that was not good.
Yeah, no, it's wild. Yeah.
Some interesting names on this. Ike Austin. Oh my God. I had no. So that must have been like comeback player and not most improved. But go ahead.
Let's see. Western Conference to win it. Like Suns are big favorites. Honestly, I think the Grizzlies and the Mavs are probably the best values. Grizzlies sitting at 12-1, Mavs sitting at 18-1. I don't mind either of those to win the West. I wouldn't take the Suns plus 180.
No, what's the point?
Yeah, or even the Warriors plus 200.
We're talking about the conference, right? I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
I get the DK Sportsbook. It's plus 160 in DK. It's better whatever you're at, but even still, 180 is not good enough for me.
Yeah, to win the East, I think the Bucks plus 350, not terrible. 76ers aren't a terrible line. The Nets are not a good line at plus 400.
They're plus 260 in DK.
Yeah, I know.
Good
well,
Lord.
It's because they know people are still going to bet them. Bulls probably not great. You know me, I got money on the Cavs, but sitting at 33-1 to win the East. I don't hate that, honestly.
I think they peaked too early, and all these other teams are getting better. And
they've been getting injured. They haven't peaked yet. They've only had one game with LeVert, Garland, and Jared Allen all playing.
Well, they lost Rubio too, which I think it's a hit.
They trade off Rubio for they essentially switched Rubio for LeVert.
Yeah. I'm very proud of Cleveland. Like they far exceeded their expectations. Good for them. I look forward to when Mobley and LeBron play together in a couple of years. That'll be fun. And Bronny will be like the 15th, the 17th man or whatever on the bench. But they just don't have the firepower. And Garland, by the way, there was a time I was thinking about this, and maybe I'm sure I was wrong, but I used to, in my head, and I'm not a big college basketball guy, you know this, but I used to think of like Colin Sexton and Darius Garland as like kind of sort of the same guy, like the same asset value.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know if that was a consensus or that was just my brain. Oh, he did this.
I think that was pretty. Yeah, I think most people are on the same page, and now it's not even remotely close. Like
no,
Garland, Sexton is useless for that team. Garland is one of the could be more in the MVP talk than he is.
Oh, he's top 5 in what is it? Breakthrough. We just talked about it. Most improved for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, he's number 2.
Yeah, he's good. Like Sexton's he can get points and stuff, but I'm not sure if he's good. Like that kind of thing. Like he's a good fantasy guy or decent fantasy guy.
Yeah.
Boston 8.5. I think you could have got a better number on that. A couple weeks ago, obviously.
I know a lot of people who got him at 55-1 to win the championship.
Woo, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. You could hedge out of that one and basically come out a winner. I've heard some people talk about Atlanta, possibly being sneaky. It's just the East is so tough, man. It's just the first. You look at the first round of the playoffs, just gonna work it out. It's right out the gate, man. There's not a lot of cupcakes.
Yeah. Let's see. Team futures winner.
How do you feel about my Heat?
I was looking at football. Your Heat, fine. They're out there where they should be. What was it? I was just looking at NBA champion. 12-1. Yep, that's about right. They're good. They're solid. They got depth. They have a good starting rotation. They're great defensively. When they're healthy, they're one of the best teams in the league. I put them behind the Bucks and the 76ers, which they already are. I put them above the Nets.
It's rare they have I don't want to say rare, but generally speaking, they're just not going to have the best player on the court.
Yeah.
But they'll have the best for first 4, first 3, right? I think the way they play as a team. They're not, their best player is not better than Giannis. Their best player is not better than Embiid. You just got to run it down how that works. But and I don't know how much that stuff matters. In theory, it matters some, but just a thought. But they play so well together as a unit, and we'll see how that plays in the playoffs.
Yep. All right. Well, I think it's time to get out of here. My headphone battery is dying, and somehow we turned a 2-game slate into 30 minutes. So, Gene, thanks for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow. I have no idea who with. I might be alone. I don't know. But thanks for joining me, everyone. We're out of here. See you, kids.